I'm so proud of myself. So these are my 4 options. They're all in different pages. Hello my friends, welcome to my channel, Discover with Kim. I'm Kim, I'm so excited you're here with me today. Welcome to this week's book vlog and one of the last summer challenge vlogs. Yes, summer is coming to an end, but that does not mean this challenge is puttering off. No, we're going to keep it exciting, and this week is a really exciting one because this week and next I will be reading a wrapped mystery book from different genres, 9 different genres / categories to be exact. We're going to be starting right away, and we're going to be starting with a mystery fantasy book because I'm in the mood to read some fantasy. Let's get into it. First off, we're going to be picking our fantasy book. Let's pick it out of the mysteries. So these are my fantasy book options. They're all wrapped right here on the shelf. These are all of them, and this is what we're going to be picking from today. You can see that a few of them were chewed by my cats. Not chewed, but they were maybe opened a little bit by some of my cats. So yeah, that's why they're looking a little bit disheveled. But those are our options, and honestly I think I'm going to pick one of them that is disheveled just because it's already half opened. Might as well just finish opening it. With that logic, I'm going to pick the one that is the most opened, which is this one. So let's see what it is. Okay, so here's the book. I have not looked at it yet, but it is half opened because I own kitty cats. Lucky me. Honestly, lucky me, but they got into some of my fantasy books. That is okay. We are going to open this up and see which one it is. I'm so excited for this one. I'm so excited for this one. So the first fantasy book I'm going to be reading this week is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. This book is a romantasy. My sister actually read it and she told me that it was so good. So with a review like that from my sister, let's just say I am outrageously excited to read this book, and I'm really happy that the cast opened this one and this is the one I get to read. So let's talk about what it's about, shall we? Guys, look. I just saw it's destroyed. That's so sad. I feel like it was just made wrong. Well, this is beautiful. That's so sad. Because the front's not destroyed. So like, it's like it was glued in funny. I don't know. Anyways. Sorry, that was unexpected. I didn't know it was going to be like that. So yeah, anyways, let's talk about what this book is actually about. If you're not terrified, you're doing it wrong. Long ago, the gods unleashed monsters upon the 5 kingdoms of Kalandra to remind us that humans are insignificant, that we must pray to the gods for mercy throughout our fragile, fleeting lives. I didn't need a deity to remind me I was powerless. Being a princess had never been more than a performance. 23 years of empty titles and hollow traditions. My sister revels in the spectacle, basking in the attention and flawlessly playing her part. I was never asked to be part of the charade. Until the day an infamous monster hunter sailed to our shores. The day a prince walked into my father's throne room and ruined my life. The day I married a stranger, signed a magical treaty in blood, and set off across the continent to the most treacherous kingdom in all the realm. That was the day I learned that not all myths are make-believe, that lies and legends are often the same, and that the only way to kill the monsters we fear was to become one. I'm so excited to start this book. Yeah, we're going to dig into this in just a little bit, and I can't wait to go on this ride. It sounds so good. Oh my gosh, it sounds so good. We are going to see how many pages it is. 511, so that's a big chunker, and I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's dig in. So as you saw, I started digging into Shield of Sparrows a little bit more, and I'm liking it a lot so far. So I'll say I got maybe, let me look how far I am. I am just starting chapter 6, so I just finished chapter 5. I'm on page 38, and the story is kind of setting up like the plot line, and I really like it so far. I think it's enjoyable, I think it's fun, and I'm curious to see where it goes. So I'm excited to keep digging into this and to get my fantasy mystery book all checked off. It is quite the long one, so it's going to take a few days this week, but I'm excited to dig into it and really read it and to see where it goes, because I've heard nothing but good things about this book. Nothing but good things, so I'm so excited to see if I agree with them all. My friends, I have to tell you, I have passed the halfway point in Shield of Sparrows. I am officially 300 pages in, and I would say I'm pretty hooked. Honestly, once I got past that 50-60 page mark, yeah, I was just ready to go. I've kind of just been flying through it. I read over 100 pages yesterday, and I've read over 100 pages today. So yeah, I am very much in this book, and I am digging through it, and I am loving it so far. I feel like it is a little bit slower paced. Like, a lot happens, but also not a lot happens at the same time throughout the book. Like, you learn a lot, and there's a lot of character development and that kind of stuff, but also, like, it's also kind of slow moving. Like, you're waiting for bigger things to happen, I guess I could say. But I will say it's really exciting, and I'm really sold. And the romances, I am all in. The yearning, I'm all in. I have ships, and I'm so curious to see where it's gonna go, and I'm so curious to learn more about the characters. I feel like it's been 300 pages, and like, I've learned so much, and so much has happened, but also so much more needs to happen, and I need to learn so much more. I have so many questions, and I really, really hope this book is going to answer them. So I'm going to keep reading, and hopefully I get some answers, because I only have like 200 pages left. That's crazy. I'm so proud of myself. Really, really good. I just finished. It was really, really good. There's obviously a second one. I have no idea when it comes out, but I really liked that. I want the second one now. Yeah, I'll review this in a little bit, friends, and then we'll pick the next book. But I just finished, and I loved it. I get it now. I get the hype. I loved it. My friends, as you saw, I finished Shield of Sparrows today, and it was so, so, so good. I ended up absolutely loving this book. It ended up being so good. It was kind of long. It was 511 pages, so I was a little worried that it was gonna like slog through, but I really didn't slog through that much. I do think that I was kind of waiting for a little bit more to happen, but then like at the end it kind of like made up for that. So like, I kind of see why we took so long getting everything done throughout this first book, and we got to learn about different places, different characters, and the different world, and the different creatures, the monsters, and we get to learn about so much. And in the ending, you do start to get, you don't get all the answers, obviously, because there's more books, but you start to get some of the answers, and some of the pieces start to fit together, and I really loved it, and it was really exciting. And yeah, I highly recommend this book if you are a romantasy fan. The romance in this book, I love the romance in this book, and I like how they wrote it. It was a little bit different, but it was still really good. And I kind of saw like the twist with the romance coming. I think most people can kind of see it, but I saw the twist coming a little bit. But I still enjoyed the twist, and I really, really enjoyed the romance and the ending of this book. There's so much happened at the end that it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, that there was definitely a lot of things that I wasn't expecting. There was definitely twists, and there were pieces that you started throwing together that you were like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. But it was quite a ride. Yeah. Quite devastating too, actually, at the end. But, my gosh, yeah. I'm kind of still processing it all, because it's only been like a couple hours since I finished, but such a good book. I absolutely loved it, and I highly recommend. I give it a 4.25 out of 5 stars. So to me, that's an amazing rating. If you get 4 or above stars from me, like, that means I really enjoyed the book. So 4.25 out of 5 stars. I loved Shield of Sparrows. I thought it was so good. So I definitely recommend this one. And my sister was right, by the way, when she said read this book. She was right. Okay, friends. So now the plan is we have to pick a next book. So what we've been doing is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have my 9 categories here, and I was just going to pick a book from each category. So I already did fantasy. So I'm going to do a little check by that, because unfortunately I cannot read another fantasy book in this video, even though I'd kind of love to right now. But that's okay. So we have a bunch of different things to pick from. I will read the categories that we have left. We have tackle a series, pick a miscellaneous book. Oh, so that's one that, like, I didn't put into a category. We have mystery thriller, we have a small book, we have a romance, we have historical fiction, we have nonfiction, and we have finish a series. So we have a lot to pick from. So I have to decide what I'm in the mood to read this weekend. Do I want romance, small book, historical fiction, mystery thriller? I think I want romance. I think I'm gonna do romance. Maybe. Yeah, okay, we'll do romance. I'm not really sure which else to pick, so I think we're gonna do I challenge myself with historical fiction? That sounds kind of fun. But do I want to be devastated? Like, do I want to go through it this weekend? No, I think I'll save that for next week. I think I'm gonna do romance this weekend, and then I'll save the rest for next week, or like after that. So let's pick a romance books. The options. Okay, my friends, I gave myself 2 options just in case I open the first one and I really don't want to read it. I gave myself a backup because I want to enjoy the book I read, and if I'm not in the mood to read it, I know I won't read it, and I need to get these books read. So we have 2 options. We're going to start with Lefty here. We'll see what Lefty is, and hopefully she's something I want to read. I'm trying to make sure I don't actually, like, I don't want to rip the book. Oh, I've heard this is so cute. Do we open the other one just for fun? I'll probably read this one, but we're gonna open it for fun. Okay, so this one's definitely more romancy, so we're gonna go with Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Let's chat about it. Alright, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. It was, as you see, Book of the Year from Book of the Month in 2023. So this was a very much loved book from our Book of the Month. So I even still have the Lally Award. But anyways, let me read you what this book is about. A novel of terrible first impressions, hilarious second chances, and the joy in finding your perfect match from the best-selling author of Part of Your World. Dr. Brianna Ortiz's life is seriously flatlining. Her divorce is just about finalized, her brother's running out of time to find a kidney donor, and the promotion she wants? Oh, that's probably going to be the new man doctor who's already registering 80-freaking-7 on Brianna's pain-in-my-ass scale. But just when all systems are set to hate, Dr. Jacob Maddox completely flips the game by sending Brianna a letter. And it's a really good letter, like the kind that proves that Jacob isn't actually Satan. Worse, he might be this fantastically funny and subversively likable guy who's terrible at first impressions, because suddenly he and Brie are exchanging letters, sharing lunch dates in her sob closet, and discussing the merits of freakishly tiny horses. But when Jacob decides to give Brianna the best gift imaginable, a kidney for her brother, she wonders just how she can resist this quietly sexy new doctor, especially when he calls in a favor she can't refuse. I feel like that's going to be emotional. But I think it's going to be really funny, and I'm really in the mood for a rom-com, so I'm hoping this is the rom-com that I need. So let's get to reading, my friends. It is now Monday morning. Yes, I'm still in my pajamas, but I want to talk about yours truly. I am 238 out of 388 pages in, so I have about 150 pages left, and it's really, really cute so far. It focuses a lot on anxiety and on medical trauma and depression that can go with that, and I think that that is it's very emotional, but they do it in a way that it's not too heavy. So like, it's still funny, there's still some cute banter, there's still some like fun moments. It's not all just serious and emotional and sad. There's still a lot of goodness to it, but there's a lot of emotional to it too. But I'm really liking it so far. I think it's really cute. I love our couple. I'm so excited for them to actually like work out their issues, because they're kind of in the part where like I feel like this is going to be like I'm about to enter the big issue of like the story. I feel like that's about where I'm reading, but so that is where I'm at. But so far I'm really enjoying it, and I'm hoping that maybe I can finish it up tonight. Like I said, I have like 150 pages, so that's quite a bit of reading, but I'm hoping that I can finish it up today, and then we can chat about it, and I can pick my next read for this challenge where I'm finishing up my summer challenge with one book from each category. So we gotta finish this up so we can move on to the next one. So yeah, so far I'm really enjoying yours truly. I think it's really sweet. I love the pup in it. Absolutely love the pup. I mean, of course I do. How could you not? There's a really sweet kitty, and the characters are really great. And you can definitely tell that some of the characters in the book are from Part of Your World, which is the first book in this like interconnected standalone series. There's definitely characters from that book in this book that they bring back in. So I haven't read that one yet. So I've not read that one yet. I obviously know what's going to happen now, so spoiled it for myself. But it's a romance book, so it's kind of pretty obvious always what's going to happen. But I haven't read that book, but there's definitely a bunch of characters from that book in this one. So if you have read that book, I think you would really love like seeing all those characters again. But yeah, that is where I'm at. That is how the challenge is going so far. I got a good chunk of this book done this weekend, but I still need to finish it up. So we're going to try our best to read it hopefully today, and we'll see how I end up loving it. So far I really do like it. I think it's sweet, and I think it's cute, and I really do like it. Only about 50 pages left, and it's really cute. It's really sweet. A big moment just happened. I'm really happy about it, and yeah, I'm loving it. Excellent news. I have finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, so let's talk about it. So, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is a romance novel. It was a really, really sweet romance novel. Our female main character, she is a doctor attending. She is in the midst of getting divorced, so her divorce is almost finalized, and she's kind of dealing with everything that relationship and marriage kind of traumatized her with. Our male main character, he is also a doctor. They both work in an ER. They just started working together, and this man, he has a lot of anxiety. Now, as an individual with anxiety, reading a book with someone with anxiety, I loved the representation of it. I really, really enjoyed that. I love seeing how it affected his life and how he had to adapt, and how the people who loved him would adapt for him, not in a bad way, but in a way that it's like you're showing your love for this person by adapting to fit what they need as a person. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. It just means that they are different perhaps than someone else. So the way that they need to be loved is different than somehow someone else needs to be loved. And I love the representation of that, and I really, really enjoyed that. I will say that as a person with anxiety, the talk of anxiety in this book heightened my own anxiety. Like, it talks about anxiety so much that I felt like I was extra anxious in my own life, which is hilarious. Not hilarious actually at all if you have anxiety, but I do think that just shows kind of like what anxiety is, that like anxiety, even just the reading about anxiety can heighten someone's anxiety. I think that's kind of just starts to kind of show what like having anxiety is like. But all of that to be said, I really, really did enjoy this book. I thought it was so sweet. I thought it was so fun. I loved the romance in it. I loved the characters in it. I really enjoyed the side characters in it. Like I said, a lot of the side characters I feel like have been in other novels perhaps by Abby Jimenez, because just the way like they're casually mentioned and talked about, it seems like we're supposed to already know some of them. So if you've read about a bunch of her books and a bunch of the ones that came out before this one, I feel like you're going to be getting those like references a lot better than me, because obviously the only book I've read by Abby Jimenez is Part of Your World, which is after this one. And this, no, it's not Part of Your World, that's a lie. Wow, that is a huge lie. It is Just for the Summer. Okay, the only Abby Jimenez book that I have read is Just for the Summer, and that one comes after this one in the timeline. There's this one, and I believe that one might be the one right after this one. I'm not sure exactly, but it is after this one in the timeline. So like all the characters mentioned in his book are in books before this one in the timeline, which I have not read. So I don't get necessarily those references, but they were all very likable characters, and I really enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the storyline. I think it moved pretty quickly. It wasn't too long. Like I said, maybe I don't really love a long romance novel, so I see this one was probably about a good length. If it had gone on any longer, I think it would have started to get too long for me and started to drag on, but I think it kind of tied up and finished up right when I needed it to, which I think was lovely. One of the issues that appeared towards the end of the book, I was not expecting. Like, part of it I was expecting, but the other part of it I was not expecting, so that was definitely a twist for me. And I kind of see how it kind of tied up like the character development and allowed everyone to kind of deal with their own shit, so I thought that was wonderful. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I thought it was really fun and a really good romance. It was silly, there was some good banter, but I will say it wasn't as like having me laughing and giggling as I thought it was going to. I thought I'd be laughing and giggling more, but I really did enjoy this book, and I thought it was really sweet. Again, I loved the mental health representation with anxiety, and I loved the medical trauma representation with her brother needs a kidney transplant, so I loved that. And this also got great representation of depression, so I love all the mental health and that kind of representation. I think that is wonderful. I ended up giving this book 3.75 out of 5 stars, so to me that's a really good rating. I wouldn't say like I absolutely love this book, which is why it got less than 4 stars, but I thought it was really good and I really enjoyed it. So 3.75 out of 5 stars for me, because I thought it was great, and I think if you like rom-com romances, that I would definitely recommend this. It was really, really sweet. Okay, I have my list of categories, so I'm going to check off that I read a romance book for this challenge, the end of this challenge, and now I have tackle a series, miscellaneous book, mystery thriller, small book, historical fiction, nonfiction, or finish a series left. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll pick one book now for this week coming up, because I'm going to be finishing off this vlog, but I'll pick what book we're going to be starting, and then I'll also pick another book at the beginning of next vlog, and I'll kind of read them together this week so I can tackle several at a time. So what I'm going to start with, because I want to get this one out of the way, is a small book. So I only have 4 books in this category, and these are all books that to me were on the smaller side. Like they're less than like 250 pages. So they're shorter books and they're nothing too crazy. So these are my 4 options. They're all in different papers. And honestly, I'm not really sure which one I want to pick. I don't know what any of these are. I do not remember what any of these are. So I think I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll do a couple of shuffles, and then we're going to pick one out. This is the one we're going to go with. So again, this is a short novel, so it's less than I think 250 pages, and it's just a smaller book that I just categorized as a short book for this challenge. So let's open it up and let's see what this short book is that I'm going to be reading this week. The Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. I'm so excited for this. So this will be my short story. This will be my shorter book that I'm going to be reading for the end of the summer challenge. It's going to be If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. And let me read you the little blurb on the back. The young postman's days are numbered. Estranged from his family and living alone with only his cat, Cabbage, cute name, to keep him company, he was unprepared for the doctor's diagnosis that he has only months to live. Tragic. But before he can tackle his bucket list, the devil shows up with an offer. Interesting. In exchange for making one thing in the world disappear, the postman will be granted 1 extra day of life. And so begins a very strange week that brings a young postman and his beloved cat to the brink of existence. With each object that disappears, the postman reflects on the life he lived, his joys and regrets, and the people he's loved and lost. Genki Kawamura's timeless tale is a moving story of loss, reconciliation, and one of man's journey to discover what really matters most in life. That sounds absolutely wonderful. So we will be starting this week off with If Cats Disappeared from the World, and then we'll also be picking another mystery book at the beginning of next week's vlog, which will be literally probably today or like tomorrow. So we're picking another mystery book, and we're going to be tandem reading these. Not tandem reading, that's not what that is in the book world anymore, but we will be co-reading these at the same time, and I will be continuing to tackle this challenge. So thank you guys so much for being there this week. Thank you for watching me take on the end of my summer reading challenge. I'm excited to keep reading mystery books from each different category this week. I have 2 categories down. I just picked the 3rd one, so we are about to be we're 2 out of 9 right now. We are 2 out of 9 right now, and I'm excited to keep rocking through it and see how many I can get done this week. This week I'm hoping to get done at least 4, at least, maybe 5. We're going to be hopefully reading a ton this week, so that is the goal. Thank you guys so much for being here this week. Let me know in the comments below if you've read either of these books, actually any of these 3 books. Yours truly, Shield of Sparrows, or If Cats Disappeared from the World. Let me know your guys' thoughts on it, and let me know what you guys are reading this week. I'd love to know. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. Live well, read some books, and go discover, my friend. Bye.